and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of CoinNewsExtra blockchain and cryptocurrency panel discussion. So, joining us on the first edition is Taha Sajid. Taha
Hey
Sajid is
guys,
joining us from Saudi Arabia. You're welcome.
thank you for having me.
So, we also have Jessica Walker. Jessica Walker is joining us from Malta. Jessica, you're welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me too.
Okay, so today we'll be talking about building a business around blockchain. So blockchain is a new technology. So many people don't know what it's all about. Talk more of building a business around blockchain. So that's why we say we should talk about this topic. It's a pressing topic. So before we move to the topic, so Jessica, just give us a brief about yourself.
Sure, so I am based out of Malta at the moment and I'm currently working for the AI Blockchain Summit. And my job role here is to create video content surrounding blockchain and emerging technology, and also link up people that might be interested in the space and looking to make business collaborations and connecting like-minded industry people. This is a very interesting space and my job is to bring people together.
Okay, you're welcome. So Taha Sajid, just a brief about yourself.
Yes, thank you for having me. First of all, I'm working with Huawei as a technology specialist, as well as I'm supporting Saudi blockchain companies. I'm basically a blockchain solution architect as well as a certified trainer. I provide coaching in this space and also provide use case exploration workshops to enterprises who wants to explore blockchain use cases, and also provide consultancies to the enterprises who are actually working with blockchain solutions. So I'm pretty passionate about this technology, and I feel like there's a great potential. And as soon as people will be adopting it, you can see more potential of this technology.
So let's move to the topic for today. So as a business owner, I'll be talking from my own side. As a business owner, and I want to start a business around blockchain. So what should I do about it? So Jessica, you can help us with it.
I think the most important thing from my experience as someone that is really on the ground at events that meet people that have integrated blockchain technology is, first of all, you need to identify if your business actually does need to adopt the technology. I think the technology has unprecedented potential, but you need to first of all make sure that it's required from your company structure. And then it's about building a core team. So it's having a core team of people that are able to implement the blockchain technology properly and successfully. You need to get fantastic developers on board. Following on from that, then it's about building your network. So first of all, you need to identify if it's necessary, then you need to build a core team, and then you need to market the product. And I think the term blockchain technology, especially around 2017 and 2018, you were seeing a lot of companies that were looking to integrate the technology, sometimes potentially without a use case or without a real need or requirement. So there are fantastic use cases in the terms of healthcare, even stuff to do with rental properties, actually putting so many different ledgers of information on the blockchain. But first of all, you need to make sure that it is a requirement for you.
Okay, that's interesting. So Taha Sajid, what's your take on it?
Yes, thank you, Jessica. You actually summed up all of the points. Very good. Actually, yeah, for me, like first, it comes with identifying a use case, whether your problem can be solved only with blockchain, or it's a problem which is due to the bureaucracy. So you have to nail down that what use case are you trying to solve is only needs to be solved with blockchain. And then once you identify this thing, then you need to map, like you need to build a business case around it. Like once you will achieve your use case, or once you will work towards your solution, whether you will be able to attain the profit, or whether you will be able to solve the challenges. So you have to map the benefits of blockchain, like the multi-signatures or the consensus process or the immutability, what the fundamentals of blockchain should be able to solve your problem. Okay, and you have to generate the profit out of it. Okay, so you have to, and with that profit you have to also solve the use case or solve the problems for your customer. Okay, and then once you are able to build that business case, then you have to select that what sort of platform you will be using it, whether you will be using, whether you want to use a public platform or whether you want to use a private blockchain platform. And then once, actually, I see a lot of companies or want to use blockchain just for the sake of using it. Okay, they don't know that what it takes to have a blockchain solution, what sort of cost models they need to have it, if they want to have a private solution, whether they want to build up on the cloud or on their own data centers, so, and if you want to go into that use case in which you are involving the payments or the transaction, then you have to look about the licensing thing, so from the step by step, from the defining the use case till all the way to licensing your product and to have a complete marketing strategy, you have to have a complete disposal.
That's very interesting. So starting a business in blockchain
Yeah.
has been a very challenging one. So if I am into, for our viewers, so if one is into the traditional way of doing business and I'm making profit and doing well in my business, why should I convert or build my business around blockchain? That's coming from what are the benefits of building a business around blockchain technology? Jessica.
So I think going from our previous points that we made, actually building a business on the blockchain isn't a requirement for every single company. If you have a specific use case that you can implement, for me, I think looking at larger business models, I think having certain data on private and public blockchains can be extremely beneficial. I think it can be more secure for the end user. And I think IBM have made some really interesting points when it comes to releasing their own data and releasing it on blockchains, because if you hand over, for example, your driver's license, then you'll see, for if someone is looking for information on you, they'll be able to see your address, but also other key parts of information. And maybe it's important for you as the end user or the consumer to withhold certain information depending on the need. So for me, I see private and public blockchain for data, for sure. For individual people, I think that is something which is quite a strong use case. But I think if you are a small to medium-sized enterprise and you're looking to implement blockchain technology, it might not be something necessary which you should look into compared to other smart contracts or other interesting technology which might be a better use case for you as a company.
Okay, that's nice, very interesting. So Taha Sajid, do you concur with
Yes,
her?
actually, I'll carry forward with Jessica have left. Actually, see what we do as a consultants, that once okay, you have heard that the best thing or the best way to sell blockchain is to not sell blockchain, actually, so that's where I feel is that if you are what you can, so what advice I should give to any enterprise or to any startups, like if you want to start your business with blockchain, try to not use blockchain upfront. Okay, you can use some other technologies like a traditional database system or an AI app or something like this, a fintech normally. And once you are using those technologies and you can figuring out that the use case that you are trying to build up is not being working properly with those technologies, or you see that there is an element of value addition that you can bring, then you can bring blockchain into it so that people can recognize the potential of it more. Okay. Okay, and the second thing is that once you don't want to reinvent the wheel. If you want to acquire the best benefit out of this, you have to see your existing market. Let's say P2P payments. If I give the example of P2P payments, there are several companies or several businesses which are working fine without blockchain. Okay, so you have to have your niche about what exactly use case you are trying to solve with blockchain. And as Jessica mentioned, that if you are storing or if you are working with data in your business case or in your business, the thing that blockchain, if you are using a data or if you're using, let's say, machine learning algorithm or AI or data science, for your data or for your data analytics. So how blockchain with this, once you are embedding blockchain in your existing technologies, it improves your data ability, and then you have to have, and then once you integrate the blockchain, then you can once you will scale it with existing technology.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, with every business, every sector of the economy, there are advantages and disadvantages. So, what are the disadvantages of building a business around blockchain? There should be a disadvantage. So, let's look at it. So, Taha Sajid, you can help
Yes, the
us.
disadvantage, yeah, disadvantages. What I feel is that there is not much enough adoption of it, due to which you can find some, some possibilities of not getting enough investment or not getting enough go ahead with the regulators' point of view. So that's one disadvantage, that if you're establishing your business startup with only blockchain, then you have, and if it involves payment, then you have to have a solid framework in which you can, have a nod head, or have an agreement with the regulators. And then secondly, you have to also consider the cost factor, because to set up the business with blockchain involves a lot of cost. So 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 if you are having enough investment, and you can, and if you can have a good business model in which you can attract the investors, then it's good. Okay, then you can, or if you're not having a good, or good business model or a good roadmap, then you can have some sort of problems while scaling your business. So that's okay, something that you have to look upon, because it's a new technology. Okay, so we have to cover all the angles into one place if you want to, build a business, a good business around it.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, Jessica, what are the disadvantages of building around blockchain technology?
Yeah, and you made some really great points there. And I think to add on those, completely right that actually this is still a clouded space for seeking regulation, and different regulators are moving differently. And if you are using blockchain technology in your business, you might find that the process for launching your product has been slowed down because of movements by regulators. I think organizations have to watch regulators' movements very closely depending on which jurisdiction they're in. So that can be a strain on an organization. And also funding as well. There are a lot of companies in the space right now that are looking to develop and integrate blockchain technology. So you might find that actually for investors, if investors are seeking out investing in blockchain technology projects, they might have too much choice. And also for more traditional investors, they might be less open to looking at investing in your project if you are using blockchain technology, because this is still a new space, it is still a new industry, and people might be slightly cautious. So those are the two main points that I would say.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. So, having talked about the disadvantages of building a business around blockchain technology, so is it every sector of the economy that needs blockchain technology? Tahasali?
See, it depends upon how you perceive the things. It can be, the answer can be yes or no. Okay, if you're having a good product, and if you know your market well, and if you think your product can survive, then you can find every use case in every industry. But if you don't have a proper vision, so you can, lack in that front also. So it depends on your product. And see, the potential of blockchain, as we know, that it because since it involves the data, so we are storing data in each and every industry, and we are using that transaction in each and every industry. Okay, so you can find unlimited blockchain use cases in every industry, but it depends upon how you make your things work. It depends on your business model, it depends on a lot of things. So in the end, what I would suggest is that you should not be looking to target most of the industries. What you can focus is, like, what problem you're having in your hand, and what is the pain point that you're going to solve it, and then you can scale up and build up from there. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Uh, Jessica, do you think it's every sector of the economy that needs blockchain technology?
I think blockchain has the potential to positively impact every aspect of the kind of the workforce, of the economy. I think if you are a business that is technology and you're looking at what areas of the the global industry to implement and what areas you can insert blockchain technology into, the best thing to do is to speak to people that work in businesses, and try and get an idea of some of the processes that might cause a business additional cost, things that might be an increase in their cost expenditures, and also things that might slow their revenue model down. And that's the best way that you can look at implementing. So for example, supply in supermarkets, that's a great way of implementing blockchain technology. Actually speaking to organizations, and seeing some of the problems they face on a day-to-day basis, that will be a good way to identify what businesses in the world need blockchain technology.
Okay, that's very interesting. So you is a very good one to build around the blockchain technology. So what we are trying to say is that every sector of the economy needs blockchain technology. Taha?
Yes, exactly. Every sector of the blockchain technology, every sector needs a blockchain solution, but it's actually see what major companies is doing it. Let's say if you talk about IBM or Microsoft, okay, they are not putting their all eggs on one basket, okay. They are exploring different use cases, but the use cases which are bringing about your platform itself, so then once you able to enter or or hit those checkpoints, then you can be able to scale further from there.
Okay. Jessica, you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. I actually agree with all the points that you're making. I think you're making some really valid points when it comes to just overseeing the whole industry. I think there's definitely a requirement for blockchain technology, and I think right now we're in a really interesting period of time where we're watching companies implement and develop their own structures and models surrounding and using blockchain and integrating blockchain technology. And I think hopefully in 10, 15 years, we'll visit the industry. For now, we're just watching these products build and develop, and that's what's really fascinating about the space.
Okay, interesting. Finally, before we draw the curtain, what are your takes about what are your advice to companies since blockchain technology can be applied in all sectors? What are your advice to companies that are yet to adopt blockchain technology in their business? Jessica, you can.
Um, And I was slightly speaking with this off air that we could, this is a really interesting time. Obviously, we're seeing with this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people are working from home. A lot of people are finding they're having more time on their hands. And also we're seeing more conferences move to virtual or digital conferences. And a lot of those are free to sign up. So for people or businesses that are looking to become more aware of blockchain technology, or they're looking to understand potentially how their business could implement the technology, first of all, I would say just try and gather some more information as an individual and as a company. So there are a lot of free and online courses that now you can undertake in blockchain technology, just to give you an introduction and an idea. The industry is so vast, and I think as well, if you are not someone that's particularly technical, you can be quite daunted by the amount of information that is available. But there's definitely room to look into things, to explore a little bit more, to see how it could apply to your company. And I think as well, the blockchain community is very approachable. It's very welcoming and very open to share information as well. So the more people that you can network and speak to see how it could benefit your organization, the better. You can never ask too many people for their opinions. So that's what I would say if you are a company that is considering blockchain technology.
Okay, that's interesting. So, Taha Sajid.
Yeah, as Jessica pointed out, like we are having now free time. If you think, we are staying at home. So what we can do now is to capitalize on what we have. I'll not recommend people to watch the news so much. Just focus about or like how you can utilize the maximum out of this time. So try to upgrade your skills with blockchain technologies. There are free courses available everywhere. They can definitely reach out to the people who are already in the space to acquire more knowledge, and try to have some diversified skills around this space. Like, if you're good in coding, let's say, so you can see about the about the pre-sale work also, like how the marketing takes place, and if you are good in marketing, you can see about the cloud architectures, like, how Amazon or how Azure blockchain has been developing the data center. So once you're diversified in your skills, then you can be able to pitch yourself better and be able to help the companies in a better way. And then once you have developed your skills, then you have to work on the product itself. About Okay, but the product idea, it should be driven by the real problems. Okay, let's say now we have seen, like, okay, most companies are going toward the cashless system. So with cashless, we see a lot of potential for the fintech players coming to this industry. So we can think about what sort of use cases that we can build on, which can be helpful in future. So we can be able to first acquire knowledge and skills, and then envision yourself about how you can contribute how you can contribute to the industry. And then once you are into that space, then you have to focus upon building your team. Like, once you are who will be your sales guy, who will be your technical lead. So with all this ecosystem, once the pandemic will be over, you will be able to grab the market more quickly, and you will be in a better way to position yourself.
Okay, that's very interesting. You people have really tried.
And just to add on to that as well, because you've made some and just to add on to that as well, this is a really great time for developers to actually develop it and really utilize their skill set too. I think you've made some really good points there. This is a really good time for people to develop their products too.
Okay, that's very interesting. Thank you very much for joining us. Jessica Walker, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It was great to talk.
Thank you, Taha Sajid, for joining us too.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Jessica.
Okay.
Thank you. Great to meet you.
Okay, thank you very much.